Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Matty here from Chill TCG. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Grand Finals match from Chill Series number 33, which wrapped up this past Wednesday. It's going to be a great match. We have HBJ Trevo, Henrique Jorge, I believe his name is, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, probably not. But he's playing against Catarax, who is actually Dangerous Rogue. And that is, the player whose perspective we're going to be watching today. Trevo is playing Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, whereas of course, Rogue here is what I'll call him, is playing ADPZ. However, Rogue is playing kind of a rogue version of ADPZ, which is the Oranguru Rotom Phone version, that variant of ADPZ. However, he's done really well in the tournament with it, of course, making it all the way to Grand Finals. Trevo, kind of just playing Scoop Up Net Jirachi Engine, Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, but what he is playing and what he's doing with his list is he has a lot of different techs in there. We saw that he just discarded the bench healing blocking Mimikyu, which I believe came out in Vivid Voltage or Darkness Ablaze, I forget, but that's in there mainly to help with the Luke Metal matchup, which is a matchup that Urshifu can struggle a lot with. We also have a Mew in his list, and we have the other Mimikyu for the Mewtwo matchup. There's Zigzagoon, there's Jirachi GX, a lot of different cards in his list to prep for a lot of matchups, but it's going to be a good one. It really is. In my opinion, I do think that Urshifu has a favored ADP matchup overall. However, we all know that ADP can always pull out the win, so I'm really excited. Two great players, and we actually have a gold quick ball on the line for the first place winner. Second place still gets 60 packs, so definitely, it's not a big loss if you don't win this game, but both players definitely want to win, get that quick ball, get the first place here. It looks like Trevo, he's starting off with that Jirachi in the active spot. He does get the, and he goes first, which is actually really big in this matchup. Does get the Urshifu V down with the Rapid Strike energy attached to it as well, which is absolutely massive. Going first and getting an Urshifu down with an energy attachment is perhaps one of the most important things that you could possibly do in this matchup. If you are the Urshifu player, it really does give you a distinct advantage. And we're going to see him attach Rogue here. Attaches the metal energy to the ADP Zacian, ends his turn with Intrepid Sword, does find another energy to attach to the Zacian. And then we're going to go ahead and find the Rotom Phone, and I believe Great Catcher. Nothing too progressive in his hand at the moment, talking about Rogue at this point. But we could see something pretty interesting come out next turn. ADP just likes to do that. But we do see the Martial Arts Dojo come down, and also the VMAX come on board here for Trevo. HBJ, so that's actually going to be sweet. He has the Switch in hand, which is also crazy, so he's going to be able to get that Stellar Wish off. Interesting, he might not have the second switching option to go back in with the Urshifu this turn, but he does find the Quick Ball off the Stellar Wish, which means he probably will be able to dig through his deck if he doesn't already have a way to switch out. He does put down the second Rapid Strike Urshifu V, so he's going to be able to start setting that up as well. Still hasn't attached an energy for the turn. If he can get an attack off this turn, that would be absolutely phenomenal for him. He is going to go ahead and pop that Quick Ball, discards the Pokemon Communications, and he's going to go ahead and probably search his deck for either a Crobat or a Dedenne, some way to probably draw some cards. And there's the Crobat. Trevo, I mean, his whole deck is absolutely blinged out. He's got all the gold cards. He's got all the alternate arts. It's, you love to see it, the shiny Crobats. He's going to go ahead, put down the Jirachi after he scoops it back up, and he's going to draw 5 cards off that Crobat. Now, at this point, the Urshifu is switched in, so he had the Scoop Up Net in hand. This Urshifu is going to be able to hit for 160, for the Gale Thrust, although we do see the Rapid Flow, but he is going to be discarding 2 Rapid Strike energies. However, I do like that play. Getting damage off on the ADP, that 120 is extremely good. That means that, of course, a Gale Thrust, just for 1 energy, is going to probably be able to KO that ADP at some point. Nothing in Rogue's hand, really, so he just has to attach another energy to the Zacian, and we see the Intrepid Sword come out. So not great at all. And we see Trevo evolving into the second Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX there. See if he has an energy in hand. We see the switch come out, but he switches into the Jirachi, probably looking for, again, some more cards to progress his board state. He only has 4 cards in hand. However, he does have the Research. He's going to discard another Research, a Mew, and I believe a Phoebe was what he discarded off that Research. Draws a fresh 7, though. Might be able to draw to another switching option. Of course, we probably have 4 switches, maybe some Escape Ropes in here, as well as the Scoop Up Nets, and we're going to see the Stellar Wish come out as well. So looking through going through a lot of his deck early on, Trevo is honestly, and the Great Catcher as well on this list, just absolutely phenomenal. Going to be able to gust up and bring up that ADP to KO it for 3 prize cards, and he is going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to see him discard Jirachi as well as a Marnie. So again, he probably still has another draw supporter in his hand or a way to draw cards. He's going to scoop up that Jirachi, put it back on the bench. Now this Urshifu is in here about to do 160 damage, perfectly KOing this ADP here in the active. And he's going to take a quick 3 prize cards. And this is kind of why I typically say that Urshifu has a good matchup against ADP. The ability to split for 120, so that you have Dojo to fix the math. It's a very consistent deck. Doesn't require a lot to get attacks off, where ADP's Zacian typically has a kind of a slower startup, especially if you're going first, which Trevo did, and he had a phenomenal start to the game. So, not looking great immediately right now. I'll say that for our man Rogue here. But the Zacian is still alive, so we're going to be able to attach a third energy, and now at this point we're just going to hit for 230, but it's going to be extremely easy for Trevo to find a way to either set up that second Urshifu V with an energy, or perhaps find another Rapid Strike energy to just finish off this Zacian. We do see the Mewtwo come down, so he's just going to probably put so the research on the top of the deck. No boss's orders in the discard as well at this point, but getting that research on the top of the deck is just going to help you draw through more of your more cards, so going to be good. He does attach the Rapid Strike energy to the bench Urshifu V, so isn't going to be rapid flowing this turn. He does not want this Urshifu to get KO'd if it doesn't have to, so he's just going to Air Balloon retreat out for free, switch into that other Rapid Strike Urshifu V Max, and get a KO on the Zacian there with a Gale Thrust. So, again, only 1 prize card remaining. I mean, this ADP is going to be a little bit harder to KO, but not a whole lot here that Rogue can do. Just find the Escape Rope, has Switch in hand. He's just going to go ahead and pop the Research. So, again, not a whole lot that he can do here. Draws into 2 Saucers, 3 Energies, Boss, and an Air Balloon. So, really bad draws this game. Rogue is like, I got nothing, man. I got absolutely run over that game. Rapid Strike Urshifu V Max, it really can do that sometimes. And sometimes ADP Zacian just doesn't draw what it needs to, even with Intrepid Sword and even with, lists being fairly consistent. So that's going to be game 1. Let's get right into game 2, and let's see if Rogue can kind of come back and maybe bring this one a little bit closer next time. All right, here we go. We're going to get into game number 2. A swift victory in game 1 for HBJ Trevo and his Rapid Strike Urshifu deck. It looks like Rogue is probably going to want to go first. I think that both decks would really like to go first if they could. He's starting with that Oranguru, and we see this, right? So the Rotom Phones are in the deck. We have Oranguru. It's a very interesting draw engine that people tend to play in ADP. I don't know how popular it is. I don't know how common it is to play a Rotom Phone Oranguru in ADP. I do know it exists. It's something that's fairly well known, but definitely interesting to see it make it all the way to finals right now. It looks like Trevo, he's going to take 2 mulligans this game, and that's going to give not only Rogue 2 more cards, but going first, a pretty big advantage. So let's see what these 2 cards are. One is the Rotom Phone, which is going to be pretty big for him. So now he's going to be able to look at the top 7 cards of his deck. Nothing too crazy here. No way, no Pokemon search, nothing too crazy. But he does go ahead, and he's going to put that that Crobat on the top of the deck. At this point, I think you really do need to try to draw some cards this turn, or draw a little bit more this turn. Oh, he has the Mawile on the top of the deck. That might have been a misplay, I think. That might have been a misplay. Shuffled his deck on accident with the Energy Spinner. Kind of interesting, and then he top decks the Mawile, so that's funny either way. Maybe it was on purpose, I don't know. Kind of felt like he was going to put the Crobat on the top of the deck and then burn through some cards here to try to draw some more cards, but either way, this is what we're rocking with for the first turn here from a Rogue. He does attach the energy to Mawile-GX there, and he's just going to go ahead and put it up to the active spot. So an interesting turn. He can Marnie next turn. Trevo, he's not really going to be able to do much this turn. He's got to, get his Urshifu Vs on the board and get him set up with energies and then evolve next turn, right? So he's safe. This is why, both decks kind of want to go first so they can get the first attacks off on their second turns, which, we'll see if there is a capability of that happening. A lot of top decks right now would be super good for Rogue. Any Pokemon Search, Cherish Ball, Quick Ball, even just top decking an ADP would be absolutely phenomenal right now. We could bench it, attach the Water, Energy Switch, and then Marnie out. So those are all really good opportunities for him. We do see that Trevo does Quick Ball. He's going to put down that Urshifu V. If he attaches an energy to it, he gets the Air Balloon onto it, and we're going to see the Stellar Wish come out. You can't forget about the Stellar Wish. Let's see if we find off that. It's a Research, and he is going second, so he could play this supporter this turn if he feels like he needs to do that. But he's going to scoop up the Jirachi, put it back down, free retreat back into it, and we're going to get another free Stellar Wish off, which is just a phenomenal aspect of this deck. However, we actually just researched before we go for the second Stellar Wish. He does bench the second Urshifu V, and now we see the energy come out. We could just see a strafe back into that Jirachi this turn, which, yep, we are going to do that. 30 damage to the Mawile brings it down to 140, so still not in range of a G-Max Rapid Flow KO on the bench. Cataracts there, that the Metal Energy he put on the top of the deck. It's he's drawing it this turn. Before we do anything to Oranguru there to try for another card, we are going to Marnie. We find two. Okay, so here are Zacians and all of our Pokemon search here. Actually, a pretty good hand. We're going to be able to get some Zacians down. We're going to be able to find ADP. And on top of that, we're going to be able to draw another 6 cards with Dedenne, most likely here. Looking through his deck, I mean, you would really like to try to get a GX attack off this turn, but we only have 2 energy switches in our deck at this point. I'm not sure exactly how many he runs. 2 seems a little bit low, but maybe he is running 2. I'm not sure. He puts down 1 Zacian. Kind of debating, should he put the second one down? That Mawile is already on the board with the Oranguru. Kind of the problem with this archetype, or with this variant of ADP, is there's not a lot of bench space. So putting down 2 Zacians and ADP, probably that Oranguru, you need space for the Dedennes, the Crobats, and this Mawile is already down on the board as well. So we are going to see him thin through his deck. He grabs the second ADP here. So he's going to go ahead and just Dedenne away. Draw fresh 6. We do see the energy switch, which is actually really good. The Rotom Phone's coming out as well. And now we do have a water energy, so he's going to go ahead and put that on the top of the deck. And we do have an escape rope as well, so a really nice turn turning out for Rogue here. He's going to be able to go ahead and get that GX attack off in a single turn setup on this ADP. So he's going to escape rope, brings up HBJ brings up that Urshifu with the escape rope. Makes total sense. But the Oranguru here, he's going to grab that water energy. Now we can attach the Rusted Sword as well. Attach the water and then energy switch that energy from Mawile to the ADP. And now we're going to be able to GX attack. He's back on pace, back on track. He also has a research in hand to draw 7 cards next turn. So definitely in a he's in a much better spot than he was last game, or last turn even. So this game is really anyone's game to win at this point. So ADP just has that potential. And we saw that that Oranguru Rotom Phone can really bring a lot of consistency to ADP. It requires a little bit more setup, and of course kind of floods the bench a little bit, especially with Mawile here in the deck. But either way, it turned out well for him. We're going to see a retreat into the Jirachi. I think he's already down 3 scoop up nets though, so he's got to keep that in mind. He does attach the Rapid Strike energy to the Urshifu V there. We're going to see him switch into the Urshifu V. Does he have the VMAX? Puts down a second Jirachi, which is interesting, and then he does have research in hand. He's going to discard Phoebe, and he's going to discard Jirachi GX. So you can see how many tech cards are in this Urshifu list, but it still remains insanely consistent. We do find the VMAX, which is huge, so we could Gale Thrust here. That is a viable option. However, I believe we're probably going to want a G-Max Rapid Flow, and I think that we are going to be doing enough to KO the Oranguru there, which has 110 HP. Might have 120, I'm not sure. But yeah, either way, we're getting 130 off onto this ADP, which is really, really good. And then on top of that, we KO'd a pretty big draw engine. He top decks another research. Rogue does, so he's going to draw fresh 7. No matter what, he was drawing cards this turn. We find the Air Balloon as well, so that could be pretty relevant, but no boss's orders, right? So really what we want right now is to boss up. We don't have any Pokemon that we can actually KO with Ultimate Ray, so that's kind of important right now. Trevo playing this matchup very smartly. But I think maybe just attacking the Urshifu V in the active spot might be your best option. However, it's not going to be too great because, if you... Yeah, and you don't want to take a KO here. You don't want to go ahead on prize cards, right? Because then he's going to KO you with the dojo. So yeah, he just kind of does, he just kind of hangs out. He's going to hit for 180 into this Urshifu VMAX here in the active, which actually doesn't have any energies because he rapid flowed last turn. He's going to put 3 energies onto the Zacian, which does have the Rusted Sword. So at this point, I believe this card is hitting for like 280 damage right now, or 290 damage. Something absolutely insane. But still not going to be enough to one-hit KO a VMAX anyway, so really not a big deal. He does attach the Rapid Strike energy to the benched Urshifu V. We're actually going to see a research who gets rid of a lot of resources. I saw Great Catcher in there, energy, perhaps some more supporter cards as well. So right now, definitely looking for the VMAX. We're going to quick ball away that Mimikyu again. All these tech cards, easily discardable because they're not really relevant in this matchup particularly. Grabs the Dedenne. We might just be ripping through our deck and just drawing like 15, 14 cards. The Mew, though, so he's going to go ahead and put a supporter on the top of his deck before he goes ahead and draws some more cards. Puts that research in his deck as well, which is interesting, on the top of the deck. And now we're going to Dedenne away 4 cards here, which I believe was another Rapid Strike Energy and a Marnie and whatnot. But this fresh 6 cards. So if we see the VMAX here, that could be really good. If we have another switching option, we could retreat into the Jirachi, potentially scoop that up to go into the Urshifu V. And that is exactly what we're going to do, I think. We're going to Stellar Wish. Let's see if we find anything here. We do find the Pokemon Communication, so if he has a Pokemon in hand, which it seems like he does here, yep, the Zigzagoon, he's going to be able to find the VMAX, which is phenomenal. However, he needs to do 150, yeah, so he's getting the KO here, so no problem, although he does not have this switching option, which is incredibly important. And if we're Dangerous Rogue right now, we're kind of feeling pretty good. We can kind of dig a little bit, try to find boss's orders. We can play down that Crobat. Could be very good. We could also burn Escape Rope to kind of switch into that Zacian, give us a little bit even more defense. But we want to go ahead and just kind of KO something this turn. Even if we just KO the active, not a big deal, realistically, because next turn we can probably boss something up and finish off that Urshifu. So missing an attack this turn for Trevo was absolutely devastating, really kind of putting him behind in the game, most certainly, because now, this ADP, it can kind of just stay in. Like, realistically, you could just stay in, KO this Jirachi, draw 2 prize cards, and then potentially, draw into a boss's orders for next turn, which could be a completely viable strategy for him. Debating what he should do, and I think if you're him, you're probably going to want to burn some of these cards in your deck, and then on top of that, you're probably going to want a Crobat. If you don't find boss in your hand, if you don't have it in your hand after you draw some more cards, you might want to research just so that it's in your hand for next turn, because that is where we're going to win the game here. We do go ahead and Escape Rope, and he brings up the Jirachi, but we could pop this Great Catcher, discarding more cards from our hand and bring up that Dedenne. It would draw us an extra prize card as well, above kind of KOing just the Jirachi. It's not needed, of course, because boss for that to KO that Urshifu VMAX is still our priority here. He does bench that other Zacian, discards the Crobat, actually, and doesn't draw into anything actually super great, at least anything like, for, a win condition. Does find the 2 of his boss's orders there in the deck on the top 7 cards, so he's going to put that on the top of his deck, which is actually even safer, because there's no real way for Trevo to shuffle his opponent's deck. So even if he Marnies him, he's going to draw into that boss's orders. This is pretty much checkmate. He's going to retreat into the Zacian, just KO with Brave Blade. So no matter what, I'm pretty sure this is checkmate. And also a really good thing about Rotom Phone too is if you put a boss's orders on the top of the deck, or any card you need for next turn on the top of the deck, your opponent doesn't really have any way to disrupt that, whereas if you put it into your hand, they can Marnie you. Now it's on the bottom of the deck. But if you keep it on the top of the deck, there's not much your opponent can really do no matter what you're going to draw into it next turn. So another huge benefit of Rotom Phones here in this deck. So Trevo's going to play it out. Of course, I don't know. Literally, I actually have no idea what he could do at this point, other than perhaps play a Cheryl if it's in his list to heal up this Urshifu, Malolana, something of the such. I'm not sure if he plays Phoebe and Cheryl in the deck, though. So it's going to be difficult. It really is. It's a tough matchup, or a tough situation for Trevo to be in. Rogue getting that GX attack off in one turn, setting up that ADP in one turn, getting the Altered Creation off, massive. And then also that one turn, Trevo kind of missing the switching out to get some damage off, KOing the ADP that past turn was also really important. So those were kind of the 2 big turns this game that really kind of swayed, the advantage state for both players. But, it's been phenomenal. It's been a phenomenal game so far. All good, all great things. Absolutely extremely fun to watch. He does just go ahead and fully set up the, that other Urshifu in the act or on the bench. So we could switch in potentially. I'm just trying to think. There's no way for us to take 5 prize cards this turn. Unfortunately, that ADP just doesn't have enough damage. But perhaps maybe we bring something up in the active, and just maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's really a tough situation. There's really not much that Trevo could do. I think his best bet, honestly, if he had any out, would be potentially to bring up the Mawile or that other Zacian and just Gale Thrust into it. Yeah, so this is actually what he's going to do, which is an interesting situation. So now, he needs a switching out, but of course, he just has the Air Balloon in the hand, so that's going to be it, yeah. He's like, oh, okay. He could have just attached the energy, manual retreated, but the Air Balloon, always nice to show your opponent that you had it, both ways. And that's going to be game number 2. So a pretty decisive victory for both players either way. One of them being a 6-0 victory, I believe. The other one being a 5-0 victory, on the opposite direction. So very cool. I mean, both of these decks are very kind of top heavy. It's interesting to see just how this matchup can play out, in both directions. But for sure a good match. We're gonna get to game 3. Game 3, quick ball on the line. Last game of the entire tournament. I really can't wait. Let's get into it, guys. All right, let's get into it. Game number 3, the Chill Series number 33 championship on the line. The gold quick ball, first place bragging rights, all that good stuff. Now, Trevo did lose last turn. He's like, I'm definitely going first, my dude. I want to go first. I want to start with Jirachi. I want to get my Urshifus down, and I want to attach energies. Looking at Rogue's hand here, it's not fantastic. Of course, he will be drawing a card here on his first turn. Both players saying good luck, great sportsmanship. You love to see it at the Chill Series. Let's see what Trevo starts with it. If it is Jirachi, it's not. It's actually Mimikyu, which is not a great Pokemon to start with. Both players starting with Pokemon that are very much somewhat irrelevant in their current situations. Of course, Dedenne is not a great starting option. You want to play from your hand to draw the cards. Mimikyu is just doing nothing in this matchup, realistically, so Trevo doesn't get to start off with the Mimikyu, although we do see the Calm, the turn 1 communication, so we're going to find the Urshifu V. It's important to get those down first turn. We do see the energy attachment, and he passes, so I got to assume he probably has a draw supporter in hand, so that's going to be important here. Looking at the top of his deck, he's going to put a card on the top of the deck. He grabs Escape Rope, which I find to be interesting. I think grabbing Zacian is probably your safest play, but having 2 water energies in your hand is absolutely devastating because he probably only runs 2 or 3 in the deck. He's like, man, yeah, it's very tough. It's extremely tough because you need to research here. You really do, because you can just get donked next turn for the loss. So he attaches to the Dedenne. We do research that away, but attaching the energy was smart because we do have Energy Switch, so potentially conserving that water energy. And we're going to quick ball away the second. Zacian. Looks like we could grab a Crobat or a Dedenne to draw some more cards this turn. I believe that other card in his hand is also a quick ball, so he's going to be able to find the ADP if he needs it. He does have that 3rd water in his deck, though, luckily, so even if he doesn't draw into Energy Switch, he has Spinner and that other water energy to potentially draw into. But discarding, having to attach one to the Dedenne this turn and discarding one, on that first turn is definitely pretty devastating. He's going to grab probably a Dedenne or a Crobat. Either way, both are probably going to work out fine for him. Dedenne is probably the smarter option. You just draw a couple more cards, I think, in the long run. So, might be the way to go. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, okay. So he's looking through the deck. He's just thinking. Timer's ticking, though. He grabs the Crobat. This is fine. He's going to be able to quick ball away that metal energy. He's going to go ahead and grab the ADP. You definitely want to get this down on the board here. And now we're going to be able to put down Oranguru. He actually Crobat's first, which I find interesting, so he's kind of debating whether even putting down the Oranguru. I would have drew an extra card if he had benched it, but you know what? Tomato, not much you can really do there. Unfortunately, no Energy Switch, so it is a little bit upsetting. You're going to have to retreat out of this Dedenne into something else. We do see the Saucer, though, so he's going to set up a Zacian, and now we're going to probably retreat into the Zacian there and just go ahead and Intrepid Sword. But yeah, probably debating whether it's worth him putting down that Oranguru because it is sort of a free prize card for, with a rapid flow attack. Interesting hand as well. So we have the Mawile, 2 ropes, research, energy, and another Dedenne, though. So, potentially going to be able to, get something off next turn. But we do see the switch. So he's going to, Trevo's going to switch into this Rapid Strike Urshifu V here. Does not actually have the VMAX. So what we see from him is just 100 blows there on the V for the 3 energy attack cost attack, which does 150 damage, so that is really relevant. And most likely this Urshifu is going to be safe next turn because, when you're playing ADP, you're almost forced to have to GX attack before you do anything to really have a chance in the matchup. So a little bit unfortunate for him. Getting that 150 damage off is going to be extremely good. That means that we can KO this Zacian off the bench for some extra prize cards. He does bench the Oranguru, which he probably assumes is going to be necessary to draw a bit more consistently as this game goes on. But now, just on the bench between that Oranguru and the Zacian, that's 3 free prize cards. So, definitely going to be interesting to see what Trevo can pull out. He only has 3 cards in his hand, didn't do much last turn, so we'll see. But we do draw into the Spinner, which is good. But unfortunately, we do have Energy Switch in hand as well. So we're going to get the GX attack off this turn. Definitely really good to get that GX attack off this turn. If we didn't, it would be difficult. We'd be in a very difficult situation. And that Air Balloon on the Dedenne is going to be phenomenal. So we see the Energy Switch come out. He's going to put the water from the Dedenne onto the ADP. He's going to retreat in for free, get his Altered Creation GX attack off, and hopefully, kind of coast into the mid or late game here. Gets rid of the Rusted Sword. Again, really not relevant. Attaching Air Balloons to your Zacians is going to be better. He benches the Mew, actually, so this guy is running Mew in his ADP deck. I literally didn't know that. I don't think we saw that the first 2 games, which is kind of interesting. So that is going to be really, really clutch. And Mew does help a lot in this matchup for sure. We see the Scoop Up Net and the Calm, so a very nice play here. He's going to switch into his Urshifu V, and now we're going to see him Calm for potentially a Pokemon to draw some more cards. Unless he has a draw supporter in hand, he might just be grabbing another Urshifu V. We'll see. He does grab the Dedenne, so I had a switch and a Fighting Energy in his hand. Okay, so we're going to draw fresh 6 cards. Let's see what he draws off this. If it's the VMAX, we're kind of forced to Rapid Flow because getting another double switch out, probably unlikely. But a Rapid Flow might even just be the best option anyway. We see a second Calm, so he's going to grab the Dedenne that he just drew off Dedenne, swap it for probably a VMAX in his deck to get a Rapid Flow off. He's probably going to be able to KO that Zacian and get 120 damage off onto this ADP, which is going to be phenomenal because now, at this point, all he really needs is to set up for another Rapid Flow, a second Rapid Flow, and he's going to be able to finish off the ADP as well as the Oranguru. So that is going to be important. All right, so yeah, we see the VMAX come out for sure. I don't think we play a draw supporter this turn, and there's the Jirachi. If we saw a boss, this actually could be crazy because we could, of course, take 4 prize cards this turn. But yeah, okay, so we're going to go ahead and see the Stellar Wish. So he did have the... he actually manually retreated, which is interesting. So he's electing to get a Gale Thrust off on the ADP first. He does kind of assume that that is going to be his best route. Getting that 150 damage off on the ADP, going to make it easier at least to KO it with a Rapid Flow attack. So definitely super, super interesting. Definitely very interesting. Let's see. I mean, it's an interesting route. It's kind of a tough situation. He probably has limited cards in his hand. He's down 2 switch, 1 Scoop Up Net. Now 2 Scoop Up Nets. He's going to go into his second Jirachi here, which is crazy. So he's probably really trying to find Dojo at this point, I would think. I think Dojo is going to be really, really good for him. Let's see what he finds here. He finds the Research, so that will be his draw supporter for the turn, most likely. He does attach for turn, so he does get that Rapid Strike Energy onto the Urshifu as well. And if we find Dojo, we can actually Rapid Flow this turn and take 2 prize cards, which probably would be ideal. Having that Dedenne down on the bench, though, is pretty scary, especially considering that Rogue does have Boss as well as Energy in his 3-card hand, so he's going to be able to take 3 prize cards no matter what next turn. We do see him, so he's going to switch. He's just going to switch into the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. We do not have the Dojo out yet, so kind of needing to Gale Thrust, really his only chance of setting up a route for next turn. And we have Rotom Phone off the top deck as well, so we're going to be able to find probably something useful, which is Zacian, Energy Switch, and some Metal Energy. So I believe he put the Zacian on the top of the deck, and we're going to Primate Wisdom the Metal Energy, and he's going to go ahead and just make sure he has a Zacian in hand. It's an interesting play for sure. We can KO the Dedenne this turn. We can draw 3 prize cards. That is going to be important. The only thing in doing this is that you don't really have anything else to attach energies off to or onto with this Ultimate Ray, because this Zacian is going to get KO'd on the bench with the Rapid Flow next turn from HBJ Trevo. So realistically, even though you're taking 3 prize cards here, you're not in a great spot just because we can't set up a fresh Zacian with this Ultimate Ray, which is it's ultimately kind of the downfall of this deck, especially putting down Mew, Oranguru, ADP, Zacian. Those are all kind of needed cards to be put down in this matchup, and we just don't really have space to put down a second Zacian. And I did mention that earlier in the video. There's just not much that you can really do when it comes to your bench space. So he does go ahead and just puts the energies on the Zacian. Figures, why not? But that thing is as good as dead. And we'll see. If Trevo finds the Dojo this turn, that would be phenomenal. He's going to KO the ADP and the Zacian, taking not only 5 prize cards, but getting rid of almost all energies on on Rogue's board here. We're going to evolve into the second Urshifu VMAX, so let's just see. Again, if we find Dojo here and we get a Rapid Flow off, Trevo, this game is almost entirely Trevo's to win, but, let's see. Let's see, because, I would really like to... I would really like to wonder, I really want to know, is he going to convert here? Is he going to get exactly what he needs to? He quick balls away the Crobat, so he could actually be grabbing another Dedenne, which is a risky play. But ultimately, I feel that if we don't get the Rapid Flow attack off this turn with Dojo, we just don't have really a way to win this game. So shouldn't be that far of a stretch, honestly, to find these cards that you need. He's going to look through. So we're actually just going to research. So no boss's orders. You don't need to boss this turn. We're going to draw fresh 7. Do we see the Dojo here? We haven't Stellar Wished yet, which is also was important. There's 19 cards in deck. He just drew 7. We're going to Stellar Wish, look at the top 5 cards of our deck as well. So the likelihood of us finding Dojo, pretty likely. He attaches to the Jirachi, which I find interesting. So he actually is going to elect to just manually retreat here. He might have Dojo in hand, but he might have missed his switching out. But no, actually, we're going to just see the Gale Thrust. Now, this is absolutely wild. This makes this game a lot closer than it really normally would be. However, Boss's Orders is still an out for HBJ Trevo, and the fact that he didn't discard energies last turn might have actually been preferable. So the more I think about it, that Gale Thrust play was actually better. No matter what, you know your opponent's not taking 3 prize cards this turn, and you know you have a huge hand here, plenty of cards in your deck here, so we could potentially just find Boss's Orders, which is going to be the game. We're going to be able to bring up that Crobat, bring up that Dedenne, or just bring up the Zacian. Realistically, you know, just take 3 prize cards relatively easily with rapid flow. So again, this is kind of why the math really does work out a lot of times in Urshifu's favor in this matchup. It really does have the advantage in my opinion. And that 150 damage from the Urshifu V at the beginning of the game really was the difference. We're going to see an energy switch. So he brings over, he actually had, okay, yeah, so I mean he has to attack with the Zacian, but that's just going to be the game because he brought up the damage Zacian. So interesting. I mean, I guess he just knew he didn't really have anything else to do, and I'm not sure what we're waiting for at this point. But yeah, anyway, that's I mean I believe he's got game, right? I mean, can't we just rapid flow, take 3 prize cards, right? I believe. He's going to research. He might not know that he just has it at the moment. I don't know what's going on, realistically. Puts down Dojo. You don't need Dojo, though, do you? Because Oranguru gets KO'd. So does Mew. Oh, no, he has Mew. I forgot. Mew's on the bench. What am I talking about? I apologize, guys. I really do apologize about that. I mean, ADP's never run Mew, honestly, so it completely spaced on me. I really apologize. That Mew, man, that Mew might be the difference. Again, it probably doesn't matter a whole lot because, you know, we're probably just going to KO the Zacian, and then we're going to need to get 2 more energies onto the other Zacian. So not super likely. However, it is possible. So we'll see. I mean, this is still kind of anyone's game. But getting these last 2 prize cards here are really going to be super, super good. Absolutely phenomenal. Man, I think it's funny that I forgot about that the whole time. But, you know, oh well. We see the Tool Scrapper come out. All right, this Primate Wisdom here, this Oranguru tech is really going to be the difference. So I think we just need a way to draw some cards. We only have 13 cards in deck. I don't even know if we have it. And there's the Rotom Phone, which just isn't going to do it because it puts it on the top of the deck. Unfortunately, that's just how you know how it's going to go. But I mean, what he can do though is just retreat into the Zacian, which would give him another turn. We're going to see the Tool Scrapper come out. So yeah, I mean, this is his play, and he's going to get another Intrepid Sword off. So unless we have a Boss's Orders in Trevo's hand, you know, Rogue is going to survive yet another turn. We have a Research as well. So I mean, there's things that can happen. The Air Balloon. If we don't see the boss this turn, well, you know, I mean, there it is. All right. Interesting game. Again, I apologize for forgetting about the Mew, guys. That was probably funny of you guys watching. You guys are probably yelling at me in the comment section below. Either way, great game. Shout out to HBJ Trevo for taking Chill Series 33 Championship with Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. Pikarom won last week. So again, the meta kind of shifts like that. That's just kind of how it happens. You know, Rapid Strike Urshifu, it's back up. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to register for Chill Series number 34, which is this coming up this week. If you register, you actually get a free Shiny Crobat V and VMAX code. Yeah, go register for it. It's on Limitless. Go check it out. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. I'm going to get out of here. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. Shout out to everybody who played in Chill Series. Shout out to all the subscribers, channel members, and shout out to PTCGO Zone for sponsoring the tournament. All right, guys. You guys have a great day. We're going to get out of here. Have a good one.